All right, here we are. Hello. Very excited to be here with you tonight. Going solo tonight. I apologize about that, but we have our family Thanksgiving this weekend, and Lisa is knee deep in preparing for all of that and completely preoccupied with all of that. And she was like, you know what? I just can't do it tonight. So I said, well, I might as well do it in here then. Because, we got that. Hello. Oh, thank you, Curtis. Appreciate that audio and video check. So I realize there is a lot of glare on that. And at some point, I'm going to have to figure out a way to take care of that. But this is the jewel tank that I've been talking about for a while that we got in here, and I'm excited about it. It looks very, very good. I am impressed with this tank. Now, I think we got it last week, I want to say it was. But I didn't get it in here until like 2 days ago, because I had to do a pretty substantial modification to this room, which a lot of people are going to be upset with me for, but it is what it is. If you'll have to stay tuned for the video for that. And also, if you're wondering why there is a comforter and pillow on top of that tank, that's not permanent. I promise. That is, this room is going to be used as a bedroom this weekend when everybody's here. So that is to go onto the air mattress when we set that up later. There's no water in the tank yet, so might as well use that as a easy storage place. And of course, we've got Henry up there too. So he's going to watch over us as we're talking here tonight. And David is over here. This is the popcorn bucket from Regal Cinemas when Superman 2025 was released. But hey, listen, the jewel tank, I have to say, I'm impressed. I am. Like I said, it came in last week, and it's funny. YouTube already is saying now would be a good time to put up an ad. Man, they really want us to push those ads, don't they? I'm not going to do that to you. You're welcome. This thing came in on a pallet. So it was not obviously delivered by UPS or anything like that. It was on a big pallet, and it was packaged very well. Again, you'll see that on the video that will come up. I'll be doing a video of the kind of unboxing, the building of the stand, and then the setup of the tank and all that. And then we're going to do a separate video that's going to be Lisa scaping it. And there is one of the pieces. Look at that thing. One of the pieces that's going to be going in that. For that tank, I'm going to do something that you would not expect from me, because when you think about me, you think about African cichlids, you think about Oscars, big cichlids, things like that. And I am that guy, but I'm going to do something completely different in this tank. It is going to be a heavily planted community tank, and I'm pretty daggone excited about it. Oh man, I got to do something about that glare right there. That's really bothering me. I don't know how much that's going to show up when there's actually water in it, but my two lights are here that are my lights that light the whole room. I might have to turn those off and put a light up above me or something if I'm going to stream out here or make any videos out here or whatever. And I'm also trying not to sneeze right now, so forgive me. But I'm all over the place, aren't I? It's been a wild week. We're going to talk about the updates with the fish room build and all of that kind of stuff. Maybe you'll understand why I'm a little scatterbrained today. Plus, one of our kids is already here. She's been here all day. And two others are probably going to show up while I'm streaming here. So that's going to be interesting. One of them is bringing 3 of the 4 grandkids that we have. So that ought to make it pretty interesting if I'm still in here live streaming when they pull up. But anyway, where was I? Again, heavily planted community tank. Lisa's going to be robbing some plants from her tank. And I've got some plants, you know, a plant or 2 sitting around here that we're going to put in there. And I think I'm going to add the fluval CO2 system for this. And the main reason why is not because I'm going to be using plants that require CO2, but because they sent it to me and I haven't put it on anything yet. And I feel bad about that. So we'll have to see. But they sent me the small one, which I did use and I liked quite a bit. And then they sent me the larger version, which I believe is built for a 125 gallon tank or up to 125 gallon tank. That's 119. So it'll be perfect. So that's my plan, is to install that, with all of the plants and all of that kind of stuff. But, you know, if I'm being honest with you, I kind of gave Lisa the go ahead to scape it for me. And so I really have no say in what's going on in that. Whatever it is that I say, she's going to say, nah, this is what we're doing. So she'll make it look beautiful, and that's all that matters. And what kind of fish are we going to put in there? We're going to put community fish in there. We haven't decided yet. But we may also incorporate a type of cichlid, or maybe a couple. Stay tuned and find out. But that'll be the second video, is the aquascape, and hopefully the fish will be in that too. I don't know. Everything right now is so disorganized. Everything is so up in the air, just kind of like, hey, we're just going to do what we're going to do. That's what my world is right now, because my life is so completely turned upside down with the fish room build. We will get into that, but I want to give you some thoughts about this Joule tank here behind me. If you're not familiar with Joule, well, you probably live in the United States, because it's a brand new thing to the United States. They are a European made company. They're made in Germany, and they have just begun a deal to bring those over to the United States and make them available to us wild and crazy Americans. I love the design of this thing. I love the way the lids work. I love the lights. I love the stand. I love the tank itself. The tank is beautiful. I know it's not showing very well right now because of all of the reflections, including me. You see double of me. You even see me on the screen. That's weird. If you could really zoom in, it would be one of those things where I go in. I'm going to have to do something to remedy that if I'm going to do things out here more often, or in this office more often. But it might not look the best right now because of the condition that it's in, but it is an absolutely gorgeous setup. I love the look of it. I have expressed in the past my concern about whether or not the filter is capable of keeping up with what I want to do. And I got to tell you, before even using it, those concerns are no more, except depending on certain circumstances. What I mean by that is you may not be able to see it. Well, yeah, you can see it real well. The filter is really big. It's in the corner here. If you're wondering what this round thing is down here, it's not a round thing. It's like a tube. That's one of those really rigid pieces of cardboard tube, and it's just sitting there supporting it during transport. That's going to end up coming out of here. But the filter is really, really big. And my concern about whether it would keep up or not is gone because of the type of tank, that I'm going to be setting up, or that Lisa is going to set up for me. It's going to be planted. It's going to have a lot of community fish in it, but it's going to be smaller fish. I'm not concerned as to whether that filter will keep up. Would I use that filter if I was setting this up as a all peacock tank or all Mbuna tank or some big heavy hitter cichlids or something like that in there, I still don't know the answer to that question. But I do think it is probably, I haven't run it yet. There's not a drop of water in there yet. So I don't know this for sure. But to look at it, to look at the way it's set up, to see the size of the pump that was sent along with it, and to see, you can see all of these sponges up here and all of that. That is what will be in the filter. I do think it's going to do a good job for what I'm doing. But if I was somebody that was buying this, this is the biggest tank that Joel has. So, it's 119 gallons, 450 liters. If I was going to do this for an Oscar tank, which it's perfectly suited for, I don't know if that filter would keep up. So there you go. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it because it is a beautiful piece and it's going to look very good when it's all done because my wife is really good at aquascaping and she's going to make it look beautiful. So I'm looking forward to getting that running. When is it going to be running? I don't know. Why don't you tell me? I wish I knew, but life is completely chaotic right now. So I don't know when it's going to be done. I didn't even know it was going to be in here by now. I surprised myself and worked on it in the evenings after work, but I'm going to get it set up as soon as I can because I don't want to stare at it empty. That's going to be like teasing me. That's crazy. So I'm going to get it set up and running as fast as I can and looking beautiful. Lisa's going to make it look beautiful. And then when it's done, you'll know, because if I live stream from out here, I'm not going to be able to hide it from you. I mean, I suppose I could, but why would I do that? I'm not a jerk. Not all the time. I got one more thing to talk to you about before we get into the whole ordeal with setting up the fish room. And it's been an ordeal, believe me. And I also have to explain to you how I looked you in the eye in Sunday's video. And I lied to you right to your face. I'm going to have to explain to myself on that. I think you'll understand. But I got to reach over here and grab another thing that happened this week that I'm pretty daggone excited about. I don't want to go into too much detail, but I do want to mention it because it's right here. I wasn't being dramatic. I mean, this is a big, giant canister filter, and it's pretty heavy. And I'm a weakling because I'm so worn out. I finally got it. I finally got my hands on it, and I can't stop hugging it. It's just so glorious. This is the Mega Filtra from CJ. It is here. It is ready to be used. This is did I call it the Aqua Filtra? I hope I didn't. It's the Mega Filtra from CJ. I think I said it right, but I'm not sure. I just brought this in just to show you, to, make you understand I'm not making all of this up. We got these on Tuesday, I think is when it came in. And then, or it might've been Wednesday. I don't know. Again, all days are a blur. I told Lisa, and I actually told Jay at CJ, I said, hey, I'm making a video right now. We got these. They're here right now. I'm going to make a video right now making the claim that I'm the first one to get it. And Jay didn't argue with me. But then, of course, I believe it was the very next day, Troy from Cichlid Bros did his unboxing video. I think we received these on the same day. Troy and I are both, on Team CJ. And so I think we probably got them. They were probably shipped at exactly the same time, and we received them at the same time. But my video went up first. So Troy, I'm always going to be first. But what Troy has over me is he got this set up before I did. I still haven't got these running yet. So, Troy has one on me, but I got my video up first. And if you didn't catch it, I think I just lost one of the feet. I think it fell off. The feet are just held on. They don't permanently attach. So It's not like I broke it or anything, but I don't have time to search for that all over the floor. My video went up first, and so I'm always going to be able to make that claim that I was first, right? We got to have something. But I don't have them set up yet. I do have a plan, though, and this is a plan that we came up with the other day. I mean, and I wasn't even thinking about this, but Lisa offered it up, and it's a great idea. Very fortunate, and not a day goes by that I'm not reminded of that. Believe me, we were actually sent 3 of these. I completely understand how lucky I am. We were sent 2 900s and a 650. These are the 900s are for up to 240 gallons, and the 650 is for up to 170 gallons. And so I immediately said, well, it's going to be perfect for me to set up the 2 900s on the 240. But what are we going to do with the 650? What are we going to do with that one? And Lisa said, well, we'll add it to the Oscar tank, her Oscar tank. And I said, that's a daggone good idea. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We have 2 AC70s on there right now, and they're doing a great job. But those Oscars that she has are getting big. When they don't jump out of the tank, they're getting really big. The Severums that she has are getting really big in there. They've all like quadrupled in size since we got them. So we're going to add that Megafiltra 650 to her tank, and that'll be the one that I use to make the video with. And then for the 240, I'm going to, you may not know this, I'm going to be converting my saltwater 240 to freshwater. And that's where I'm going to put the 2 950s or 900s, excuse me. The 950 is another model that's going to be coming out. We don't have that yet. That's the one that's going to be able to hook up to Wi-Fi, and it's going to give you like all these readings, and it's going to alert you when you need to maintain it and all that kind of stuff. So cool. We don't have that one yet, but we have the 2 900s that we're going to be putting on that 240. One of the dilemmas that I had was whether or not to hook the filter up to the returns and the drains that are already on the tank. And I don't think I'm going to do that, at least not initially. I'm going to put it on there the way it's intended to be put on. That aquarium is a Planet aquarium. It's from Planet Aquariums, and it has a normal size frame on it. Kind of like the same size frame that you would get on most aquariums, most of your standard aquariums. And so there's no problem there. But the cool thing is and Troy showed this in his video, he did a great job with it. The clips for the Megafiltra will actually fit onto the custom aquariums frame, which is really thick. It's like 1 3/8 inches thick. I've never seen canister filter clips that'll hold on to a frame that wide. So that's very cool. So it's not like that's the reason why I'm going to put it on normal. It's just, if I'm going to do a video about it, I want to be able to show these filters the way they're intended to be installed. But then after that, maybe I'll hook it up to the returns and the drains, but I don't know. I might just plug those up and just not fool with them and hook this up the way it's supposed to be intended. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know how comfortable I would be with that. Plus, there is another issue, and that is the Megafiltra, the flow control is on the return. And so I would be losing that if I was to hook the return straight up to the returns that are built into my tank, that are drilled into my tank. I would lose that flow control. But then at the same time, I don't know if I care about that, because I'm going to be setting it up as a HAP tank, and I'm going to run these fully wide open anyway. So I don't even know that that's going to be an issue, but it's just one of those little things that I think about. The cool thing is the old CJ canister filters used to have the priming on the actual return or the drain itself, but no more. priming this filter is one button right here on the top of the filter. So I don't need to worry about that part, which is great. So I think it would work hooked up to those drains. I just don't know. I just don't know if I'm going to do that. We'll have to see. The question becomes, do I want those intakes going all the way down? Would I rather see that than drain an overflow box and returns that do nothing? I don't know. That's just something I'm going to have to rationalize in my head and figure out what I want to do about it. So anyway, I don't want to go into great detail about this filter on this live stream. I am going to be doing a video that's going to be the unboxing and setup of it and my first impressions of it and stuff like that. And then there'll be a lot more content to come. It'll be, down the road when it gets some use, I'll make a video about maintaining it, how easy or difficult it is. Judging by the way it's set up, I think it's going to be very easy to maintain. So I don't think we're going to have any issues there. But it'll give me more of a long-term, opinion about the filter. That'll come sometime later on, after the first one. So that's the plan with the Mega Filtra, and you'll know everything you need to know about the filter, when I do those videos. So I'm excited about it. And the funny thing about this filter, this is something I literally laughed out loud. And if anybody was like around my property, they would have heard me through the walls when I laughed out loud the other day. It was a loud thing. It was a thunderous laughing out loud. Listen, I remember vividly back in our house in Virginia. We moved here 3.5 years ago. I remember November of 2020 having a conversation with Jay Wilson. The reason why I know it was November of 2020 is because we relaunched our website, keepfishkeeping.com, in July of 2020. And then when we got to October, that's when we started selling betas on our website. And we had a small area in our basement set up, which was like the original area that we had all of the betas. We had like 300 betas in there. We eventually moved that beta setup to a larger part of our basement. But it started in this one room, and it was in that one room until December or so of 2020. I had this conversation with Jay Wilson while standing in that room. So we're talking about a conversation that was 5 years ago, exactly. And that's when he told me the name for this canister filter is going to be Mega Filtra. 5 years ago. And I remember this vividly because I was talking to him. I was looking at the betas, and the betas still had the colorful cards in between them. And I said, well, Jay, that's the stupidest name I've ever heard for a filter. That was my original response when he told me what the name was. And the name has since grown on me. It just didn't make sense to me at first. I was like, that sounds a little dumb to me. But over the course of the last 5 years, it has really grown on me, and it just kind of rolls off the tongue now. Mega Filtra, it makes sense. I don't hate the name anymore. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a CJ fanboy. I was on the phone with a CJ representative and said, that's the dumbest name I've ever heard. I'm not afraid to say what I think, especially when I thought, well, this is so early in the process. There's still time to change that name and name it like the Megalodon, or so, I don't know. I mean, their last one was called the Whale. So call this one the Megalodon or the Meg, or so, I don't know. But they settled on Mega Filtra, and it's been that ever since. It's never changed. But here's the interesting thing. I talk to Jay Wilson. He's a very close friend of mine. I talk to him quite literally once a week. And he knows at some point, every time I speak to him, well, not anymore, but he knew for the last 5 years, every time I speak to him, the words, all right, what's going on with Megafiltra? We're going to come out of my mouth every single time. And they absolutely did. And he would be updating me on it. He would say, well, and we're talking, this is 4.5 years ago. They sent a bunch of them out to these testers and these engineers, and they're all working with them and they're testing them out to see what needs to be done. And then I would ask him again later on, and he would say, okay, well, yeah, they got all of the feedback and they're making these changes and they're doing this. And the point I'm trying to make is I've been talking to Jay about this filter and anyone else. I've even met one of the owners of CJ. The CJ is owned by 4 daughters of the original owner. I met one of them. Everybody that I have spoken to at CJ knows how excited I am about this. And I've been talking to them about this for 5 years. So it was hilarious to me. And I laughed out loud when I saw another YouTuber on YouTube the other day talk about how CJ doesn't do any R&D. I was like, what? This is not the CJ fanboy in me saying this. It's like common sense. I've been talking about this filter for 5 years. How insane is it to say that this brand is not doing R&D? They've at minimum of 5 years it's been going on with this filter. So that was just ridiculous. I laughed very loudly. My neighbors, I think they might have called the police. I saw blue lights. People were wondering what was going on here because I was laughing like a wild man. But anyway, this filter has been in the works for a very long time. There's been probably a dozen versions of this filter that have been sent out. Never to me. I'm not that lucky, but they were sent out to testers to use and to play with and to figure out and get feedback on. And so, yeah, there's been a lot of R&D for this filter and every other product that's come out from CJ. So if you can't tell, I am very excited about this filter. I cannot wait to get this filter operational on both of those tanks. So, and I don't know what my wife is saying right now because I am in the middle of, I don't want to spend the time reading it because I'm just rude like that. But I think she's probably saying something along the lines of CJ would not put a 5-year warranty on a product if they didn't believe in it. They're not going to put a 5-year warranty on a product that's a piece of junk. If they're going to put their name on it, and if they're going to put a 5-year warranty on it, they better make damn sure that thing is going to work and it's going to work well. So that's all I have to say about that. So I lied to you. And I'm very sorry. You know, I should have made one of those videos that is, you know, me looking sad on the thumbnail and it just says, I'm sorry, or I never thought I would make this video, or some kind of stupid clickbait like that. That's what I should have done here, because I looked you in the face and I told you a lie directly to your face. But the thing is, it wasn't a lie when I told you what I told you, but it became a lie. This will all make sense. I promise. If you don't know, Sunday, I uploaded a video explaining how Lisa and I are going to be selling fish on our website in the very near future. I don't know if I'm going to say the date right now, because we do have the complications of the holidays right now. But, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Stop it. I'm trying to turn my notifications off. There we go. I get no notifications when I'm not live. I announced in that video that we're building a fish room and we're going to start selling fish on the website. And I said towards the end of that video, I said, if you're watching this, this means that I'm about 3/4 of the way done with the project, because I'm not even going to start uploading these videos until I'm about 3/4 of the way done with the project. Well, that was a lie. I lied. It wasn't a lie at the time, but it turned out to be a lie. And it turned out to be a lie because I wasn't thinking about dates. Lisa and I have a firm launch date of selling fish. I didn't clear this with Lisa. And if she tries to stop me, it's going to be too late, because I'm going to say it to you right now. January 30th, 2026 is the day that live fish will be live on our website. The launch, there'll be fish for sale on our website January 30th, 2026. It's 2 months and a week from now. We didn't have that date when I made that video. And so I actually, if I'm being honest with you, I thought it was actually going to be sooner than that. But then when I was thinking about things, and I was like, well, there's holidays coming up, and there's going to be traveling, and there's going to be this and that. And then we want to have these fish in our system for a long time before they're available to customers, which means we need to have them in a month and a half prior to them going for sale. Like, I don't know how, if I'm going to wait for weeks and weeks to start uploading these videos, the times aren't going to line up. And we're going to be weeks and weeks behind on the launch. And so we would launch fish for sale, but then we'd still have 5 or 6 videos that have to go up announcing the launch of the sale. You understand what I'm saying? It just wouldn't line up. So what I've changed it to now is I'm basically going to be making these videos in real time, letting you know exactly where we're at in the process. I'm filming everything, not every single thing, but almost everything. Some of the things that I've been doing take a considerable amount of time, and it would be extremely boring. And there's no reason, if I'm standing in one place doing something for 2 hours, why would I film all 2 hours of that? That's kind of stupid, but I would get a lot of footage for that. There's some shots that I have that are 2 hours long because I forgot to stop the camera, but I'm recording everything, and I'm documenting the entire process. And so I'm going to be uploading those kind of as I go. But then after this whole thing is done, I've actually got a whole schedule of what videos are going to go up at what time, and all of these deadlines, and deadlines introduce stress. But, listen, I can't spend a year getting this stuff ready. I mean, this is our business. I got to get this thing up and running. So I don't want to have no deadlines, but deadlines make it stressful. So when it's all done and the fish are on the site, and that whole thing is complete, then I'm going to take that footage and make very specific videos from that footage. I'm going to show the footage in the updates too, but I'm going to make videos like how to build racks for a fish room, how to supply air to all of the tanks in fish rooms, how to install an auto water changing system, all of that kind of stuff. I'll be able to do individual videos of those using the footage that I got. I'm going to show all of that stuff leading up to it, but then it'll be more in-depth, thorough project style videos after all of that. So that's the plan with it. And it's going to work out a lot better this way. So you're basically going to be seeing this project in real time, not this Sunday, but the one after that. The one I'm uploading this Sunday, I filmed like a week ago. But anyway, we're going to end up getting to real time. And what is real time? Well, oh my God, it's been such a disaster. It's been a disaster, but also not. Everything that you see in this video coming up this Sunday went extremely well. What I basically did was broke the 2 weeks down into water and air. The first video is about the water system that I have in there. I had to swap out the water heater and then install the water changing system to the racks. It's not fully extended over the racks yet because the racks aren't there yet, but it runs to where the racks are going to be. And then the air system is the exact same thing. But the air system would be the following week. But water this week coming up, and then air the week after that. And then we get into the real fun part, because this coming week is when I finally get to start the fun stuff. Everything up to this point has been the stuff that is cool, but not particularly fun to watch in video. Nobody goes to an aquarium channel to watch a video of some dummy in North Carolina replacing a water heater. Nobody's entertained by that. And nobody wants to see a YouTuber put an air pump up on a shelf and start the plumbing and hook up the pressure gauge and the bleeder valve. And I don't think anybody wants to see that. But after that is when the real fun will begin, because I'm going to be starting to build racks this coming week and start to put in tanks. I got 54 tanks last Thursday, a week ago yesterday. So I think when you end up getting 54 tanks, which is only batch number 1, I got to go back for another batch of 64 20s and 650-gallon low boys. I think that's what I have to go back and get. Once you've gone that far, there's no turning back. So I felt comfortable with starting to put these videos up. But I got to tell you, the reason why I said it's been a disaster, I'm going to explain this in next week's video, but I'm so frustrated about it. Hopefully you will indulge me here for a second and allow me to just rant for a minute. I hate installing mini split systems. There, I said it. I used to love it, but I hate it now. And I have to say, and this is me being 100% truthful, if you are someone who is contemplating buying a mini split system and installing it yourself, do yourself the favor of purchasing the Mr. Cool system. I understand they sponsored my system out in the fish house, but guess what? That was 2 years ago. My obligation to them was over 2 years ago. I am in no way forced to say good things about that company right now. And I wasn't forced to say anything good then. They didn't even see my video before I put it up. But the Mr. Cool system versus probably any other system is night and day. I don't mean the quality. The system that I bought now for the barn is from a brand called Cooper and Hunter, and the build quality is fantastic. It looks amazing. It's great. I think it's probably at the same level as the Mr. Cool stuff. It's just that the Mr. Cool stuff is meant for DIY. It's meant for dummies like me that don't know what they're doing. I used to install ductwork, and I used to run line sets, and I used to install heat pumps and all of this, but we're talking about a completely different ball game here to install mini splits. And the Mr. Cool DIY system, that's what it's made for. And it is far superior and far easier to install. Yes, they cost more money, but I would recommend them to anyone. And you can actually go buy one at Lowe's. I mean, they have them right there at Lowe's, the Mr. Cool system. Cannot recommend those enough. The reason why I say this, I'm having so many problems with the electrical that I did not have with the Mr. Cool. And I don't know what, pardon me, the hell is wrong with this thing. I'm not an electrician, and I don't like playing around with electrician. It scares me. I'm going to be honest with you. I know people whose house has burnt down because of an electrical issue, and I'm scared of that, especially in a 200-year-old building. What had happened was I installed the 3 of the 4 indoor units. We're not ready to install the 4th one yet because the area isn't ready for it yet. I installed the condenser with Lisa's help, helping me get it up on the stand thing. It's really heavy and it's really big. Got all the line sets run. I had to cut the line sets and flare the fittings and all of that kind of stuff, which I've done a million times. That was not hard to do at all. And then I ran the electrical, and here's the thing. I am a dummy. That's the thing. I'm a dummy. The barn that we have used to have a heat pump system or a furnace in it, a gas furnace that was up in the attic, and then the air conditioner outside. The air conditioner got stolen because this house was a foreclosure back in 2008. And when they stole that, they just cut the line sets and they cut the power line, and then they just took the unit and probably sold it for scrap. I never really looked at it all that close. I just knew that's where it was because I saw the old line sets coming down from the attic. And so I used to do that for a living. Plus everybody knows what a line set looks like. The fat, black insulated copper pipe right next to the little skinny one. I mean, everybody knows what the line sets look like. So I saw them coming down there, and I saw the cutoff box, shut off box, whatever you want to call it, right next to it. But I never paid any attention to it. But because I knew it was there, I said, well, that's a no-brainer place for me to install this new condenser, because then I can just hook the power right up to the old power line that was already run. Easy, no big deal. Until I went to install it. Hooked up the power from the condenser to the cutoff box, shut off box, whatever you call it. Went in there, turned on the breaker, pop. Son of a bitch. Turn on the breaker, pop. Immediate. It's just, I'm like, all right, well, we got a short somewhere. This is a dedicated line from the breaker box all the way to the condenser. So it's not like it's overloaded. It just keeps popping. So I'm like, okay, let me look at this thing. I did feel a little weird about the cutoff box. It was really old. I call it a cutoff box. Other people might call it a shutoff box. I don't know what you call it. It's got the big black breaker in it, or it's not a fuse, but you pull it to disconnect power. I felt a little weird about the old box. So I said, you know what? Let me just go get a new one, and we'll be safe and everything will be fine. Run to the hardware store, bought a new cutoff box, brought it back, installed it, got it all wired up nice and pretty, went back into the breaker box, turn it on, pop. Turn it on, pop. What is happening here? So I start doing a little bit of research. Then I finally consult the manual. But the manual doesn't say anything about power. I guess because they just want you to leave that up to an electrician, which is the smart thing to do. But I start doing a little research, and Google AI tells me, yeah, you're supposed to have a 60 amp cutoff box, which I do. And you're supposed to use 6 or 8 gauge wire. And I look at the wire and I'm like, okay, it's definitely not that. It looks more like a 12-2. I'm like, okay, so it's the wire. The wire's the problem. But the wire running from this condenser to the breaker box is not something that I'm going to do. I said, nope, this is when I have to wave the white flag and I have to call a guy. And I'm not happy about it. I don't like calling a guy if it's something that I believe I can do, but I don't like opening up the breaker box. It's not my safe place. I don't like it in there. I do not want, I'll run a new outlet. I'll replace a light switch or replace an outlet. But I don't want to open up that breaker box. It is my least favorite place to go. So I called a guy. And the guy that I called isn't taking any new clients. And it made me think, what are you, a dentist? Like, you live in rural North Carolina. You mean to tell me you've got so many customers that you can turn down work? This is an easy job. Not interested. At this point, a smart person would call another guy, but not me. No. I said, you know what? I'm not playing around with this. I am going to just do it myself. So I go to Lowe's and I buy a $250 piece of wire to run a whole new line from the cutoff box to the breaker, put that in, and replace the breaker with a 50 amp breaker. And it looks beautiful. And I'm like, here we go. We're good. I didn't die. That's good. Everything looks good. Everything's tight. I can't imagine anything being wrong. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but this isn't anything like overly crazy complicated. It's a pretty simple thing and everything looks good to me. Moment of truth. Go to turn that breaker on. And this time I see a visible, rather scary burst come out of the breaker. And then I finally said, no more. Nope. I'm not wasting any more money. I'm not playing around with this anymore. And I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I could burn the barn down, our livelihood, or kill myself. So I am going to have to call another guy. Who's that other guy going to be? I don't know, because I don't know anybody out here. And so I have to go by what reviews on Google say and all of that kind of stuff. And then I call them and then they tell me, I'm sorry, I'm not taking any more clients. So look, even Ike's upset. Look at him. He doesn't even know what to think. He's so upset about this. So that's what's going on. It could be a faulty system. It could be, but I don't think so. I think I did something wrong. Something's crossed I don't know. I don't know what it is, but what my hope is now is I, first of all, can find a guy, and that guy can come out here and work with what I've done as far as the new wire that I ran and everything, and just, fix whatever I screwed up. I don't know. I don't know what I did wrong with it. It hurts my pride. It really does, because I like figuring things like this out, but I don't know what is left to figure out. So I got to call the guy. And I was really upset about it because for some reason I had this in my head, like, well, what am I going to do? This project is going to get delayed by weeks now because I'm going to have to wait for an electrician. And then I just realized, hold on, are you an idiot? That's the mini split running has no bearing whatsoever on any of the other projects that I'm doing in that room. Thank you to all the people who are putting in orders, but I have to mute my phone because, geez. Okay, now I had to put it on charge too. I can do everything that I'm doing, and I don't need the mini split to do it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm moving on. I'm moving forward. I am proceeding with the project. And like I said, now is the time when the real fun begins. And somebody is pulling into my driveway, Lisa. So, and it looks like the big vehicle One of our kids is going to be showing up in a big vehicle full of people, and the other is just going to have 2 people in it. This one's the big one. So things are about to get real rowdy here, folks. But I got the door locked, so they can't mess with me in here. The real fun begins now, though, which is building racks, putting tanks in, getting the plumbing system hooked up to each one of the tanks, getting the drains run, all that kind of stuff. Like everything that I've been doing up to this point is leading to this. This is the fun part. This is the part that I enjoy the most. And I'm really looking forward to that. I'm starting with the snail room first. There's 36 20-gallon highs that are going in that room, all on the water changing system, all on the air system, obviously, all going to be fully operational before I start on the next racks. And I know he's going to come bang on this window. I know he's going to mess with me in some kind of a way. I'm expecting it. I'll be disappointed if he doesn't. My windows that I'm looking at, they're behind you. That window right there is on the front of my house, but then I'm in a bay window and I can see out there. Of course it's dark, but, and so they're right outside. They're 10 feet from me right now. And I just know he's going to do something silly because that's what he does. But he might even be watching this and hears me saying this right now. And if that's true, hi, open the window. No, I'm not going to do that. These windows are really old and they don't open. Anyway, who cares? But, so I have all brand new tanks going in the snail room, and then all of the tanks that were in the snail room, and some of them still are, those are going to get reused out in the fish room part. So we have one more rack of tanks to remove from the snail room. Then I can get in there and put all the new stuff in. Then I get to start working on the 40 breeder rack. And those are the tanks that I got so far. I got the 36 20 highs for the snail room and the 18 40 breeders. I can't see them, but I know they can see me, and I just saw some flickers, so maybe they can see me waving to them. I don't know. But so I have the tanks right now. I told you things were about to get rowdy. To do the snail room and two of the other racks. All that's going to be left is the center section of the barn, which is going to have 72 tanks total on it. But that'll be the last kind of phase of this project. So, and listen, I can build aquarium racks in my sleep. I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just saying I've done it so many times that I could do it without even any thought. So I feel very confident that I'm going to be able to build these racks super fast. Now drilling the tanks, you can't force that. You can't make that go fast. You have to do that at the pace that the glass cutting drill bit will let you. And then to drill 36 and then followed up by 18. And it's a lot of tanks to drill. So it's going to take some time to get all of the drilling of the tanks done. And, you know, fingers crossed, not breaking half of them. But this is the part of the project that I have really, really been looking forward to. This is the fun part. And it does make me sad that one of the projects that I was working on is not done yet. That kind of hurts my feelings because the mini split is, you know, blowing up every time I try to turn the power on to it. That makes me sad, but it is what it is. I'm just going to move forward. We do have heat in the building, so it's not an issue. If it was the middle of August, oh man, I'd be really miserable right now. But anyway, so I'm super excited about it. If you can't tell already, the video coming out on Sunday is going to explain how the water system works and all of that good stuff. Then next week will be the air system, and then it's go time after that. Then the real fun begins. And what I really want is to have all of the racks built, tanks in place, and operational by mid-December. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. I am just one person, and Lisa will help me anytime I ask her. But, you know, almost all of the work that I'm doing is really, it's not work for her. It's not that she wouldn't do it. It's just, I only have one drill bit for glass. I think Joe said, going to need a couple of bits. No, I got the like Super Pro premium bit from Gemco, and it costs way more than the other ones. And the representative at Gemco said, oh, you could easily drill like 400 tanks with this bit, and you're only drilling 159. So you'll be fine. So I should be able to make it through all of them with just that one bit. And we're only talking about 20s. We're not talking about super thick glass. If I was drilling, 125s and stuff like that, that has 1/2 inch thick glass, whoa. I mean, that would be a struggle, but 20 gallons are pretty easy to drill. But then there's also, because the glass is a little thinner, it's more at risk to break. So I still do have to take my time with it. I've drilled tanks in the past, and basically what I've done is I just let the weight of the drill do the job. I don't put any pressure down at all. The lady at Gemco did say with this bit, you're going to need to put a little bit of pressure on it, which makes me a little nervous because I got heavy hands, but, I don't know. I'm just going to take my time with it. And if it takes me all day to drill the 36 tanks, so be it. That's fine. And then I'll find out if I need to order some more because I broke some extra, some of them. I don't know. I hope not, but, I want to send a big, big, big thank you to Mark from Aquariums Unlimited. Joe, remind me about your comment. It is genius, but I'm not doing it anymore. And there's a good reasons why. But I'm a retailer. I have accounts at all of the distribution places. But I was having a conversation with my good friend Mark from Aquariums Unlimited in Virginia Beach, best fish store on the planet. I'm not just saying that because he's my friend and I'm biased. I'm saying it because it's the truth. I was talking to him about it, and he asked me how much you paying for the tanks. And I said, well, they're this much. And he said, oh, no, you're not doing that. No, you just buy them through me, and you can get my price on them. And it was way less than mine. So Mark and Donnie helped me out in a big way. It's ridiculous how much money they saved me on that. So big thank you to them. And hopefully they're not mad at me when I call to get my second batch. And I might even have to break my second batch into 3 batches because I don't know if I can fit 64 20 highs and 6 low boys in my trailer. I don't think I can do it. I don't think there's enough room. We'll see. But big thank you to them. So, Joe, I'm not doing that genius move anymore. I'm going to be explaining this in a video, but I'm going to explain it to you here also because it's important and I need to give credit where credit's due. It is a genius idea. If you don't know what I'm talking about, my plan was each rack that I build, not all of them, but the majority of the tanks that we're going to use are going to be 20 highs. There's going to be 8 on a rack, and underneath each one is going to be a 50-gallon lowboy with plants. And my thought was I will drain all of the tanks. I'll have the bulkheads drilled into it and have the drain lines run down into the plant tanks, providing those plant tanks with the most glorious nitrate-filled water you've ever seen which is wonderful for plants. It's like free fertilizer, and then drain the plant tanks down into the main drains. And so I'll do my water changes through the plant tanks. It's genius, right? It is absolutely genius if everything's perfect. I consulted my favorite aquarium person on the planet, Jason Adams. I talked to him about this like a month and a half ago. I told him this idea and he was like, yeah, I love that. That's a really good idea. But you're going to be importing fish. What if you end up with a situation? Somebody's crying already. That didn't take long at all. What if you end up with a batch of fish that comes in and they're not doing well? They're sick. You have to medicate them, or they have some kind of parasite, or, something's going on with them. You're going to be draining that down into the plant tanks. That's not going to be good, is it? And I said, no, it's definitely not going to be good, but I have a workaround for that. And the workaround is I'll just turn that tank off. I'll turn the valve off from the water changing system, and I'll just do the water changes manually. And Jason was like, oh, well, that makes sense. It's a good idea. Again, as long as everything's perfect, it's going to be a great idea. And so that was my plan. And then I put up that video where I explained that, which again was recorded well before I, had really thought about it. And there were quite a few people in the comments. Again, credit where credit's due, not only to Jason Adams, but to the people in the comments. There were probably 7 or 8 people of there's probably 1,000 comments on that video at this point. There was quite a few people that commented exactly what Jason commented. And I didn't feel like typing back to all of them. Well, it's no problem. I'm just going to turn those off. It clicked in my head at that point when all of these people were saying that. It clicked in my head. Okay, 2 things. First, they're right. That's absolutely true. But I already have a workaround. I'm going to turn those off. But then what clicked in my head was, oh, but that means I'm going to be doing all of those water changes manually. And this guy doesn't want to do that. I don't like that idea at all, because I don't want to be going. The whole purpose of doing this the way I'm doing it is for the water changes to be happening and I don't have to do it. We're only 2 people. We're going to have 159 tanks, 160 if you include the Tractor Supply tub that we have. The whole idea is to not have to do manual water changes. I realize there might be an emergency sometime or something catastrophic happens in a tank, something like that. Okay, we have no choice then. But if we're going to be ordering thousands and thousands of fish at a time, and we're going to be importing them, there's no possible way every single one of those batches of fish is going to come in perfect. It's just not a real thing. That does not happen. There's always going to be something. It might be minor. It might be something big. It might be something that wipes out a whole tank. There's always going to be things that have to be resolved. I know that going in. I've dealt with it in the past. I know how all of that works. And, if everything was perfect, this system would be flawless. But there's no way that it's going to be perfect. I'd really rather be able to let the water change system do its thing, or possibly even say, okay, we have a problem in these 5 tanks. Put them all on the same, I don't know. I'm trying to work it out in my head. This all makes sense. Increase the amount of water changes that are getting done and do it more frequently. Instead of just doing 25, do 50%. And while medicating the tank, and, clean water is the best medicine for any fish out there. So I don't want to be doing that manually. I want the system to do it for me. And if I have them draining down in the plant tanks, that's not going to work. So every single tank is going to be drained independently down into the drain. And so if there is any problems in there, including the plant tanks, Everything is going to be completely individualized, and we are not going to have any issues like that, because it would be an absolute nightmare to have an issue with a batch of fish, which is going to happen, and be treating that and be like, okay, well, I'm not going to make the mistake of making those fish available to customers yet. We're going to hold off. We're going to medicate them. We're going to let them have some time. We're going to let them recover. And then once they're all clear, then we can sell them. But meanwhile, all of that funky is going down into those plant tanks, which could potentially transfer into my customers' tanks. I'm not doing that. I am not going to send my customers a plant that could end up contaminating their tank. Not going to do it. So to avoid that and to avoid more work on my part, I'm just going to bypass that altogether. So you're right, Joe. It is a genius idea. Thank you. But I'm not going to do it anymore. It's a genius idea if everything was right. Like, put it this way. One of the most appealing things about this system that I'm going to have is all of the tanks being basically their own quarantine tanks. I don't have to have a designated quarantine area, which is good because we only have so many square feet in this building. So every single tank is going to be its own quarantine tank. I don't have to, commit a whole area to that. If I had an area of 100 tanks that was exclusively quarantine, and all of the tanks that are customers' tanks, for sale tanks, then that system would work, and it would work amazingly. Everything's in the clear. There's no sicknesses. There's no parasites. There's no bacteria. Nothing's going to get transmitted. Everything is going to work fine that way. And then when the fish come out of quarantine, we can move them over. But I don't have the space for that. So every single tank is going to be its own quarantine tank. And the only contamination that I'm going to need to consider is cross-contamination by me, like putting a net in the tank and then being an idiot and going over to the next tank with the same net. Like, that's stupid. And anybody in fish keeping knows better than to do that. Whether your fish are in quarantine and being medicated or not, you should not do that. We're going to have tons and tons. We already do have tons and tons of nets, and we're going to clean the nets. We're not going to allow cross-contamination like that. So, I don't want to run the risk of creating some type of catastrophe with my customers. So there you go. Trust your instincts. Yeah. And you know what? Again, credit where credit's due. It's not just my instincts. There were a lot of people that pointed this out, and it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. Like, do these people not trust me? But it's not, that's on me. I mean, they're right in what they're saying. Does your building need to be reinforced to support all that extra weight? Oh no. I'm telling you right now, you could pull a F-250 Super Duty into my barn and it ain't going to even make a sound. It won't fit through the door. So there would be a crash involved, and I wouldn't like that very much, but you could do that. No, the floors in that particular area are absolutely as solid as a rock. It's massive deck construction with 2-inch thick floorboards on top of 2-inch thick floor joists, because that's a real word. It is rock solid. I mean, you could jump up and down in that room with a tank right next to you and nothing moves. Like, it's solid as a rock in there. Plus, I'll be using the walls. I'll be attaching it to the walls. So some of that weight will transfer to the walls and stuff like that. I'm not worried about the weight at all. It's a good point. Who said that? Well advised. It's a well-advised piece of advice or question or statement or whatever. But I'm not concerned about that. And this is only temporary. As I explained in that video, we do have a long-term plan. And our long-term plan involves building a new building. Uh, it's going to be a ways down the road. And you know what? If nobody buys fish from us, maybe it won't happen. But like I said in that video, you've always got to be growing. Whatever it is that we do as people, you need to be looking at getting better. I'm not trying to be a motivational speaker. I'm just speaking the truth. You should be trying to get better at whatever it is that you're doing. If you don't, complacency sets in, laziness sets in, and that is the beginning of the end. So we're always thinking way, way, way ahead. Our life is like a game of chess, and we're 5 steps ahead. And step number 5 is building a new building, or maybe we'll get lucky and somebody 10 miles from our house will build a big warehouse and put it up for rent. I don't even know if that would be lucky. I don't know what we're going to be looking for. But I do know this. I don't want to move every 2 years. I don't want to do that. And I don't mean move my house. I mean, move my business. I do not want to do that. I'm 51 years old. I'm going to be 52 in June, which I don't even know why I said that. That's still 8 months away. That was really dumb, but I'm 51 and I don't have a lot of these moves left in me. I don't mean like I'm going to die soon. I don't mean that. I hope not, but I'm saying like, it's so hard to move hundreds of aquariums. And I want to do it. I want to move when we're done in this barn, when this barn has nothing left to give us and it's holding us back because we need to expand. I want to move into something that is way larger than what we need, because then we can grow into the building and not be constantly, okay, we've been in here for 2 years and now we're stuck again. We got to move again. I don't want to do that. It's too much. So my hope would be that we build something rather large on our property, or something pops up for rent. I mean, I live in a very rural area. Everything around me is farmland, farm as far as you can see. There are no warehouses out here. Unless you want to drive like 45 minutes, which, I mean, I'd rather build something on my property than do that. My neighbor has a building. This building's not an option. It's his. He uses it for his farm. It's 75 by 100. And let me tell you something. Every time I walk in that building, I'm like, oh, so much room for activities. So much. I could do so much in this. Like, you know how many cans of extreme fish food I can fit in there? You know how many bags of Northfin I can fit in there? Shoot. That's a 7,500 square foot building. That's massive. I don't know if we're going to build something that big, but that's the dream. And my neighbor's, the other thing that makes it so impressive is it has like 40-foot high ceilings, because it's made to pull farm equipment into. These massive cotton pickers, and because he's mostly a cotton farmer, big giant, I mean, they're the size of a house cotton pickers. They're huge, and he can pull one right in and pull it straight through his building. They've got all kinds of equipment in there and stuff like that. It's glorious. It's like an airplane hangar. It's massive. And the door is the size of my house. It's unbelievable. We don't need to go that extreme, but I don't want to move into something that's even just double the size of what we have now, because how long would it take to grow out of that? I'm not playing that game. So we'll see. I mean, things all have to fall into place, and things have to work out well in order to do that. Have you seen these steel buildings? I've heard they are reasonably priced. Oh, they definitely are. In fact, Ron Cichlids, when we were down there, he has a new building. His new building is, I want to say it's like 40 by 50 or 40 by 80 or 50 by 80. I don't remember. I think it's 50 by 80. That's what it is. And it's so glorious. It's so big. And because Ron is an African cichlid breeder, he's not concerned with high ceilings. So the ceilings are low to make, heating the building more efficient. And it's just massive. I did a video. I showed his video, or I showed a video of that building. It's wonderful. He told me exactly what he paid for that. It's still more than you think, though. The concrete slab alone, I don't want to say how much it was because that's Ron's business, but it was a lot. The concrete slab was more expensive than the building because concrete is a racket right now and people charge astronomical amounts of money for concrete. So, dogs are sleepy. Yeah. They sleep in a perfect little yin yang. You see that? Head to butt in both of them. That's how they sleep every night is the two of them. It's a little yin yang symbol. Carolina carports. I already looked into them. But I tell you what I also looked into, and it really is the way I would want to go, is a red iron. That's what my neighbor's is. So, and it's so glorious. I don't know with the lower ceilings, I don't know that a red iron would really be necessary, but those red irons are so nice. Those buildings. I don't know. We're talking about something that is years down the road. We haven't even sold our first fish yet this go round. And I'm glad I just brought that up for myself. There's an interesting thing, and it's in the comments of that video. So many people not really knowing the history of KG Tropicals and thinking this is the first time that we've sold fish. And it's kind of comical. We've sold thousands of fish, probably tens of thousands of fish, on our website. And it's something we're very, very familiar with. Believe me, we understand the whole process. And, that's why it's such a no-brainer for us. It's like, it's not a new thing. We've done this so many times. We know how the industry works. We know how importing works. We know all of that. We've done it. So yeah, this is nothing new to us. But it's sweet when people don't know, because listen, every day people find our channel for the first time and they don't know that we used to have a fish store. They don't know that, we used to breed out of our garage and sell out of our garage, and we've had our website since 2011, and they don't know that. And so it's adorable when they're like, oh, this is a new thing that you're doing. Now we're just doing it again. So let me do this real quick. Joe Provenzano at 803 donated 5 memberships. I am sorry it took me so long to recognize that, Joe. Apologize for that. Thank you for the gifted membership. NY Sports 2883 with the $5 super chat. Plans for the tank. It would be cool to have some pumpkin seed sunfish with some tannins, driftwood, and anacharis. I bet you'll some Oscars. I bet you'll some Oscars. I don't know what that means, but you're a fan of NY Sports, so we have to question if everything's all screwed in tight up here. But love anacharis. I do not love tannins. I do not want a brown tank of iced tea behind me. I love pumpkin seed sunfish. That's great. But no, Lisa and I have some ideas of what we want to do for fish in there. There's what I want, and then there's what Lisa wants. And even though this is my office, we know who's going to win that battle, right? Gray Stokes 9759 gifted 10 memberships. Thank you so much for that, Gary. 5 very happy, hopefully happy people with those memberships. There will be some members only updates of the fish room coming very soon. I promise you on that. So those people will be appreciative of that. Brent Russell with the $2. Are you filtering with the Mega Filtra? Fat fingers there, Brent. Well, not yet. You put that in at 8:05, so you hadn't heard me talk about it yet. So you have your answer now. A 650 is going on our 125, and then the two 900s are going on my 240. That's the plan. Den of Zen 59, thank you so much for that. Gifted 5 memberships. I never know, like, you have multiple accounts, don't you? But don't you have the same avatar on both of them? I don't even know. I'm so confused right now because I thought I saw your other name in here, but didn't I, Dennis? No, you've been Den of Zen the whole time. I don't know, but I thought I saw you in there under your other account. But thank you for the gifted 5 memberships. Appreciate that. Along with Kevin Mauser, also 5 memberships. Y'all are spoiling me with the memberships tonight. Maybe Lisa should not stream with me more. Maybe I should just do this solo. Get all the memberships. Shamu Aquatics, member for 17 months. Denison Barbs, Rainbow Fish, Congo Tetras, maybe a red-tailed shark, but proceed with caution on the red-tailed shark, as you might not get lucky like I did. Why is Lisa calling me? Hello?
Brayden wants to come in and say hi.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. My grandson wants to come in and say hi to everybody. So hold on. Come on, you don't even know what's going on, so it's going to be fun for you. Look, come look and see yourself on here. This is Andreas. There are 100,000 people looking at you all right now.
Hey, hi. I'm Catalina.
This child is being raised right. Look at her. Look at her with the Metallica shirt on.
Okay, she's shy.
She doesn't like y'all. Show those muscles. Do it. Nice. Look at that.
I have my big muscles.
You do have big muscles. You want to say hi to everybody? Say it in the microphone.
That's big muscles.
Big muscles. Brayden, come say hi. The one who wanted to come on here and say hi to everybody doesn't want to come on and say hi to everybody. Brayden, everybody wants to say hi to you. Andreas, how old are you?
Baby boy.
What did you say?
Baby boy.
He's 5 years old. He's 4.
No, I know. I said 8 already.
You said 8 already? He's 8 now. He was 4 when he got here, but now he's 8.
Brayden said
Cat.
that his fish is homeless.
Oh.
What he meant was, because that does sound concerning, what he meant was his fish is lonely.
Oh, I know people who could give him one to take home with him.
No.
Oh, yeah. So you going to hang out in here with me for the rest of the show here? Yeah. This one used to be the most shy. Nobody can move over this way a little bit because nobody can see you. He used to be the shyest kid. And now look how many hearts this kid's going to break. I mean, seriously, let's be honest with each other, right? You're going to break a lot of them. Are we going to play some Fortnite in a little bit? Are you playing Fortnite yet? You are? Not just Brayden anymore? Do you have your own account? Me and him play Fortnite all the time. And it drives me crazy because he goes over here and I go over here. And I'm like, where'd you go? And I can't find you.
Yeah, I was going to say about be Superman.
You want to be Superman?
Yeah.
He knows when Superman shows up, it's me. Did you see my Superman up there? You see him up there?
Yeah, I love Superman.
I do too. That's my boy.
Superman
Here.
can fly.
He can fly. We all dream of that, don't we?
Yeah, I just watched it.
You watched the movie? What did you think of it? How many stars do you give it?
I watched it by myself.
Okay. All right. Somebody else is coming in now. Come on, boy. He's wearing a Venom shirt.
I found my new clock, but my clock broken.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's got his new Crocs. Pick one of them up and show and let me see it.
One.
Can you take one off
Okay.
and then give it to me and I'll show everybody. Bright orange. We want everybody to see him coming. See? I say we. I mean.
Yeah, I can love it.
Yeah, that's perfect. Go get Braden and tell him to come in here and say hi to everybody. Tell him Papa John said he has to.
Why is that Hulk?
Your dad gave that to me. He gave me that Hulk hand. All right. I guess he's going to come now. There he is. Look at the Venom shirt. I like that shirt. There's like 100,000 people watching. There's not 100,000. This isn't Mr. Beast's channel here. There's 182 people watching. That's a lot. That's like as many people as in your school right now.
I got 1,000.
1,000 what?
I got a fifth grader, a fourth grader, a third grader, a second grader, and a mom first grade. And also there's a kindergarten.
Okay, cool. Are we going to play Fortnite later?
Yep.
Did you bring your PlayStation?
No. But I did bring my Nintendo Switch.
Okay. Well, that'll work.
I want to play too.
All right, jerk. What are you doing?
I'm not in it.
Their dad doesn't want to show himself in here. He's the one that wants to be a YouTuber, but he doesn't want to show himself on here. And he's got the pinkest shoes I've ever seen in my life.
I want to play
You want to play what?
Fortnite.
Well, okay, but I can't play Fortnite on here. Did you see my popcorn bucket with Superman?
Oh.
That's pretty nice.
I got LeBron James shoes.
LeBron James shoots. He ain't the GOAT. MJ's the GOAT. We all know it.
No.
He don't know. All right, you boys let me finish this up and then I will be out and we will play Fortnite in a little bit.
Okay.
Beat it. Make sure the dogs didn't run out, David. They're fun. All right, come in here. Okay, the dogs are in. They're so much fun. That is the Braden with the Venom shirt on is Lisa's first grandchild. And then Andreas was the second. Catalina, which was the one with the Metallica shirt on, which is awesome. She is the fourth grandchild. The third one will be here tomorrow. Also a girl from our first daughter. My stepdaughter, but I call her my daughter. Y'all understand what I'm saying. I don't call any of them step. At least I try not to. But I don't want to call them stepkids and I don't want them to call me stepdad. I don't know. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but they just call me John. The kids call me Papa John. I had options, but I'd take Kobe over LeBron 100 times out of 100. I have had so much fun. This is not about fish, not even close. I've had so much fun recently. For some reason, YouTube has been recommending to me shorts that are legends of basketball talking about who the GOAT is. And they all know. Papa John Pizza here. That's not why. I know to look at me, you probably think I'm the biggest Papa John's fan. I've never lived near a Papa John's. I love Papa John's pizza though. Look at me. I love pizza, period. But no, granddad, that sounds like too much of an old man. Grandpa, you want to talk about what sounds like an old man? Grandpa sounds like an old man. So my two youngest stepkids, actually all of them, I don't even know why I'm just calling them out. Lisa's ex-father-in-law is also named John, and the kids call him Papa John, and that just worked. And I was like, well, we should do that. That's what my name should be. Sounds better than PP, because Lisa is Mimi, which is adorable. But, the alternative to that would be PP. I'm not trying to be a PP. I mean, can you imagine me taking them to the store and they'd be like, PP, can I? Come on. That's just dumb. So no, Papa John. Papa is cute, but again, sounds old. I'm sorry. It just does. Like, I am old, but I don't want to sound old. I take Rodman over LeBron if I'm choosing to start a team. Well, that's bold. I'm a big Rodman fan, but I don't know if I'd put him above LeBron. But then again, maybe I would. I mean, because Rodman wasn't a showboater, and he wasn't a baby like LeBron is. All the kids call me Unc, no exceptions. I love that. I absolutely love that, but I don't know that would work for me. Being, just your average white guy, I don't know that Unc would work for me, but I love that, and I wish it would work for me. My paternal grandfather was Papa. His stepmother was Granny Lucille. That's cute. My grandfather on my dad's side passed away when my mom was pregnant with me. So I never got to meet him, but my dad's mom was Grandma, which is what my mom is to everybody. My mom has, I think, like 17 grandkids. But my mom's mom was Grammy. Fine. But again, sounds very old. So, but then my mom's dad was Granddad. I don't know. My dad was Granddad. So I don't know. Papa John, that's what I am. And you can't take that away from me. I like it. And it works for them. And we had a running joke, and I actually have a coffee mug with it over there. Braden, he's 7. He's either 6 or 7. Hopefully he's not watching right now. 6, but maybe 7, but also maybe 6. I'm terrible. I'm a horrible person. He had this hilarious thing that he did, and I don't know if he was trolling as a little kid or if it was a real thing, but we don't see them nearly as much as we would like to. Even though when he was born, they actually lived with us in our basement for the first year of his life, but he was a baby. He doesn't remember me. He doesn't remember that. He was really young then, but it would be funny, and sure, it would hurt my feelings a little bit, but every time they would see us, he would look at his dad and he would go, "What's his name again?" Pointing to me. And so it's become a running joke still to this day that my oldest, he'll be like, "What's his name again?" It's a hilarious thing. And he got it on a coffee mug. It's a photo. I'll show you. Hold on. This was a Christmas gift last year, and hopefully it will focus. It's not going to focus. Hang on. There we go. So, a picture of me and him walking down the dock, and it says, "What's his name again?" It's perfect. I love it. I love it so much I won't use it. I have it on my shelf back there with my bobbleheads and all of that. So, it's adorable. Okay, so if I hit Powerball tonight, I might have to invest in Cage Tropical's new building. Well, I would gladly accept some of your Powerball winnings. Building a new building costs a lot more money than you think. Anybody that is considering doing something like that, like you want to build a shop for yourself or something like that, it's very easy to look online and to go to some of these metal building companies and you find this building is $17,000 for a 50 by 30. And you're like, whoa, that's so cheap. That's amazing. I can get this building so cheap. What you're not taking into account is all of the permits, all of the site work that has to be done, $40,000 for the concrete slab, the electrical work that needs to be done. Insulation is outrageously expensive because if you're going to get one of those metal buildings, you have to go spray foam. I don't care what anybody says. It all adds up really, really fast. And to get one that is for like a hobby or maybe just a garage, which I wish I had. We don't have a garage here. Might be reasonable, but to build one that's like, 60 by 100 or 75 by 100, like my neighbors, we're talking about several $100,000 when it's all said and done, to have it functional, driveway put to it, concrete, all of the plumbing. Like for us, whenever we go to build something, we're going to be putting drains all over the place in the floor so that they're not running it's going to be a lot. I mean, and all of that stuff adds up to where it will be a lot of thousands of dollars. And that's another thing that makes me so jealous, because one of the first ones I looked at was going to end up being between $200,000 and $250,000, what all in, like with everything done. And then I talked to my neighbor and he was like, yeah, he's got that he's not an old guy. He's only a couple of years young, or a couple of years older than me, but he's got that old timer North Carolina draw. And he was like, I paid, I think about 90 grand for mine. I'm like, you jerk. Not only is this thing 7,500 square feet with like 30-foot high ceilings, but you paid a third of what it's going to cost me to build a building the same size. Very frustrating. And I wasn't even looking at a building that size. It's just astronomical the way prices have gone up now. It's a huge racket. We used polystyrene board insulation on our new building, deciding against the spray foam. I completely understand that, Tammy, but here's the thing. I have been in several of those buildings, particularly like the tubular buildings, the metal steel buildings. And it is a night and day difference. The ones that are closed cell spray foamed versus the ones that are insulated with like batting insulation or the polystyrene. It is night and day. It almost seems like the building is more structurally sound when it's spray foamed. And it actually, the spray foam companies actually advertise that fact, that it does add a lot of rigidity to the buildings. Living where I live in Hurricane Alley, I feel like it would be mandatory to do closed cell spray foam in mine. And it's a business expense. So it's one of those things where when we do get to that point, it's like, hey, this is a business expense. If we're going to do it, we might as well do it right. Right? I mean, if it's going to cost $5,000 more to do spray foam, which on a building that size would be a lot more than that, then that's what we got to do. But that's the other thing. The red iron buildings, you can get them with that insulation already there. And that's huge. So I did get a price quote from one of those red iron buildings. MBI, I believe is the name. Beautiful set of plans they sent me. Beautiful design they put together. And it's a lot more, a lot more than the tubular buildings, but I think it's worth it. I think it's worth the extra cost, because I live in the middle of, where the hurricanes go. Even though we haven't been hit with one yet, I'm knocking on wood because I am superstitious. We haven't been, but our house has been, and the hurricanes have done a lot of damage to this property before we had it. So it's a threat. But then again, my 200-year-old horse barn is still standing. So there's that. But I tell you what the ultimate dream was, and then I'm going to have to get out of here because I got a family full of house I have here. You want to know what the ultimate dream would be for me? I'm not going to lie to you. I completely understand how corny this sounds, but it just shows how much of a YouTube fanboy I am. The ultimate dream would be to have RR Buildings come out and build my building for me. Whenever it is that we're going to have that done. That's not going to happen because he's in, I believe, Northern Illinois or even farther west than that. Ain't no way he's going to come down to North Carolina for weeks and weeks and weeks. That's not going to happen. He doesn't come to this area. He builds locally to him. But that would be the dream because I am such a massive fan of Kyle and daggone it. What's the other guy's name? The guy that he has working with him that's in all the videos. I'm sorry. I don't know those guys. It's not like I know him. I'm referring to him by name, but he says his name in all of the videos. So, you know, Kyle and, oh man, I can't remember his name and it's going to drive me crazy. But that would be the dream because I mean, how cool would that be to have RR Buildings and he would be making a video and like I would be in it on his channel. I'm such a huge fanboy. Like that would be incredible. But that's a pipe dream. That's never going to happen. I would be just as likely to get LeBron James to come here and buy fish from me than I would be to have RR Buildings come down here and build a building for me. Are you going to have it freestanding or up next to the fish house? That has been, oh, your name is Superman. You and I could be best friends. Did we just become best friends? That is something that we have debated. But what I believe I would end up doing, like the dream scenario would be to build a building that's large enough to expand massively when we need it. We don't need it right now, but when we need it, and incorporate everything into one building. So all of the aquariums that I have in the fish house now be moved over. And what I would love to do so much, again, if this ever happens, you are going to get to know that I am living my absolute prime dream. Like this is the pinnacle for me. I am doing exactly what I've always dreamt of doing, or at least what I've dreamt of doing for the last several years, which would be to build a building large enough, like my neighbors, 75 by 100, take a section in the back of the building and frame out like a 16-foot by 16-foot room, and take all the big aquariums that we have now, the 125s, the 240s, the 360, the 300, and build those into the walls of that room. And the only thing that's in that room is the table that we stream from and that we make videos from and stuff like that. Kind of like where I'm sitting here right now. That's it. And all of the tanks are built into the walls. They're all accessed from the back. They're all the noise is outside of the room. And we just have this smaller, it's 16 by 16 or 20 by 20. It's a good size space. But it would be this just contained area just for making videos. It would actually be a studio. That's the dream. And then incorporate all of our personal tanks into the full water system of the building. That's the dream. Like I said, if you see me doing that, if I make a video 3 years from now, 4 years from now, and I'm like, hey, guess what? We're expanding. We're building a new building. And here's the cool thing. It's going to have this little room, not little, but this room in the back. And we're going to put all the tanks in the wall and it's going to be amazing. Then you know I've achieved my dream. I sure hope that happens because that would be so incredible. And then I would get the fish house as my workshop and Lisa would get the barn as her cat rescue. Done. Sorry, Ike. Didn't mean to scare you. Let me get through these real quick. I am so sorry, folks. Let's see. Budget Bonsai Rack, $2. January 30th, 2026 marks a leap in fish keeping. Well, I sure do hope so. I sure do hope people look at it that way. That is very nice of you to say, Rack. I appreciate that. You are a good friend. Den of Zen again with the 5 memberships. Dennis, you're spoiling us tonight. I really, really appreciate that. You are the man. Jill Eugenia, I hope I'm saying your name right. Jill, I'm sorry. Okay. Member for 8 months and didn't say anything, but then followed it up with 20 gifted memberships. Are you kidding me? Thank you, Jill. That is outrageous. Oh my goodness. So many people are going to get to see some behind the scenes stuff. We're not going to be hiding anything from anybody. But there's going to be things that members are going to get to see that maybe the rest of the YouTube world doesn't get to see. Nothing top secret or anything like that, but little behind the scenes action kind of stuff. And so now 20 more people along with the 5 from Dennis are going to be able to do that. And then of course, one from Whip's World, because why not? Thank you so much for that, Whip. I saw you pop in there just as I'm getting ready to leave. I apologize for that, but I do need to get out of here because they did just show up and I don't get to see them as much as I'd like to. So I want to go out there and hang out with them. And my daughter who showed up earlier today, all of them are here. So, and we're going to have another one pulling up here any minute, driving up here from Charlotte. So it's a long drive for her. I came here for Lisa. This stream is very disappointing. How dare you? Well, she was just here a few minutes ago, just for a minute with our granddaughter in her hands. So you missed that then. What are you going to do? The Greys, as the Steenfots would call them, the Greys. What are the Greys? Why am I unfamiliar with what that means? The Greys. I've never heard Bob say that. Anyway, and then Whip's World with the $10 Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Whip. You are the best. I appreciate you very much. Appreciate everybody that's been here tonight. It's been a load of fun. Non-members, the Greys. Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny because it's true, because their names are Gray. That's hilarious. So Regina, Whip, and Den, y'all are the Blues. And then we have the Greens and then the Grays. There's like different houses in Game of Thrones. That's funny. I love it. And I might have to steal that from Bob and Chelsea. If that's their thing, well, it's probably going to be my thing now too, because that's priceless. I love it. So anyway, thank you all so much for hanging out. Vincent, the Grays. I love it. That's so cool. Thank you, Vincent. Everybody coming in at the last minute. It's like, we don't want John to go spend time with his grandkids and his kids. We want to hold him up and throw money at him. I love it. That's very much appreciated. Slytherin. Yeah. The Greens will be Slytherin. The Blues can be Ravenclaw. And the Grays will be Hufflepuff because nobody cares about Hufflepuff. We just need to get Reds. There's no way to do that. And the Reds could be Gryffindor. Anyway, I'm getting silly now. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Thank you to everyone that participated and had all of these things to say. I know it was very ranty tonight, but when I'm by myself, that tends to happen. So anyway, thank you all so much. We'll see you Sunday for the big fish room update video. And you'll get to share in all of my frustrations, but it'll be fun. We'll see you next week. Bye.